Okay, so I wanted to give some advice for the brochure that you will be creating, and I wanted to start with some basic trifold brochures. So a basic trifold brochure is going to be set up like this. This is an 8.5 by 11 page, and it has 3 panels. If I hit the W key, you can see all the notes that I have right here in the guidelines. And your front panel for the brochure will be on the far right side. The inside panel, like it's inside of the front flap, is going to be right here. And then the back cover is either usually contact information, legal information like we have right here, or usually like it's a blank white mailer that has just like the return address up here and the rest is left blank. You can do a little bit of design in the corner, but we need this part to be blank for the stamp and then this part to be blank for the address of who it's being sent to, or at least a label for that. So like in this one, this would normally be 3 panels, and it is 3 panels, but the information didn't lend itself to 3 panels, so we actually used one great big image for the background, or I actually used a great big image for the background. Now the fold lines, if I hit W, you can see that fold line is going to go through the text right here, which isn't ideal, but that's what we had to work with and they were fine with it. But just know that if you can avoid that, you should avoid that. So anyway, you can do this, like treat the inside of the brochure like it is just one flat page. So I did kind of the same thing on here. We tried to keep it consistent. So again, you see the front panel, the legal information and contact. And this is the panel again. It's the inside panel, but it's the one that kind of is seen on its own. So it's for that one idea or that one piece of content that is unique so that you can keep it separate from the others. The inside is where, you group items. So like if it was spa services, you might have one panel for massage, one panel for hair salon type of stuff, and one panel for whatever else a spa does. So those things are all together because they're all services. Whereas here it might be a price list, or maybe the team, the spa team, so people can get to know them. So it's the one unique idea. In this one, you can see that I tried to pay attention to the 2 panels. Again, I had to cross these lines, so this was something I probably wouldn't do again. So just know that I don't do things perfect each time either. But this one, I made it its own panel as well because it was a unique idea. And I could have put it here, but we almost had 2 unique ideas and then this one big one. So that's where I did a 2/3 and a 1/3 split. So that's something you can do as well. Now, if you have enough content, you can actually increase the number of panels. So this is a 14-inch wide by 8.5-inch tall 4-panel brochure. Sure, even though it has 8 panels, it's 4 panels because this is printed on one side and this is printed on the other, which means there's only 4 panels. So again, you don't want to do this unless you have a lot of content. But when you're doing this, I chose this because there are 4 STEM is science, technology, engineering, math, and we wanted to talk about the careers in all 4. And to try and fit that in a 3 panel, I couldn't figure out a way to lay that out that still looked really good. So then that lent itself to 2 separate idea panels. So this one is just resources and career considerations. So those aren't the same thing, whereas these are all the careers in each of these. So they should be all seen together at once. And then I've gone all the way up to a 5-panel brochure. This is for our annual events for our community arts and Center for Arts and Community Enrichment. So they do this annual calendar that says all the way from July through the next June what events they will have happening. And so they just keep adding events, so we keep adding panels into the brochure. So again, I'm just showing you this because it's the same thing. The inside page should be all the things that are similar, or we should see a very see if we wanted the 2 panels here to be one idea and these 3 panels be another idea. That could happen as well. And then this is like where we had 2 panels on the back that we didn't know what to do with, but I like pictures, and I think pictures sell an event more than just the text. So that's where I want to put like this gallery of images. And then the donors is one idea, and then about case is one idea. So you really have to think about like what content you're going to have in here and what things need to be grouped together and what things need to be seen like as their own separate thing. So just keep that in mind. So when you're actually making your brochure, what you want to do is you want to find the template. Like if you're getting it printed at Vistaprint, then you need to go to Vistaprint, find their trifold brochure page, and they should have a template. And the reason why is because they have very specific, like where their folds are, they're going to have a template for you that shows you where those are. If I go to Pioneer Press in Greeley, and they have a very specific template because they have a very specific spot where their folds are. So in general, you can do what I'm going to do right now, just start making it, and then you tweak it later. Is you're going to create one panel that I'm going to say just put a generic color for right now, and then I am going to Option or Alt and drag it so I create a second one, but make that a different color, but a different fill color, not a stroke color. And then I'm going to Option drag that and make that another fill color altogether, and then highlight all three and drag them out to the edge. Now the problem with this document is I didn't add a bleed, and you must have a bleed. So I'm going to fix that by going to File and Document Setup, and I'm going to choose, if you don't see the bleed, it's in this toggle down right here. I'm going to put 0.125 inch bleed on all sides, and I need to take those panels out, but I want them to be equal, and remember the bleed is what we're going to cut off. So usually you just take the outside panels and stretch them like that, and then this outside panel, stretch it like that, and then this one just needs to go up and down. I don't think I got this one quite right. Okay, so see, I don't know what I'm seeing right here, but so I can go a little bit further out. Okay, so now those make up my three panels. Now I can actually drag a guide if I want to, which it's not doing. What is happening? I might have shown or hide guides. Well, anyway, you can show guides, and I'm gonna have to figure out why mine won't work. But we do want 2 pages for this. This would what we consider the outside page. So this would be the cover of your brochure, the inside flap, and the back flap. But the inside page will probably be the same panel layout. So I'm just going to copy, duplicate spread, and I actually want to change that to not facing pages so that they're just stacked right on top of each other. So now I can take out those, see there's that guide. I don't know why it's not showing on this page, but anyway, so I can take out those colors, leave those colors if they're my colors or whatever the case may be. So if I did want this to be one whole, it's still going to be 3 panels, but maybe this is one idea and this is one idea, then you can do something like that. So now it's just a matter of grouping your content, keeping it as streamlined as possible, because you don't need to put so much text on here. That's overwhelming to people. And another thing with brochures is these cost a lot to make, and so you want them to be something that will last for a long time. So for instance, this brochure costs us like $600 to print like 1,000 of them, but they last for the whole year. So even in the middle of November, we can keep handing them out because they're still good for the rest of the year. So that is something that is timely, but it's still going to last for a long time. What you don't want to make a brochure for is a sale that's going to last for a week and it starts next week. A, that's not going to have time to print. B, you just spent a lot of money and it's going to take a while to get these in the hands of people. So it's just not cost effective to make a brochure for something that's short or temporary or anything like that. If you're a restaurant and you're making a takeout menu, that's a good idea. If you are a business that offers services and you want people to know what services there are and what their costs are, then make one for that. If you're a charity organization and you're trying to give these out for donors or volunteers so that they know what your organization is about, that makes sense. But doing anything like here's a sale or here's an event that's going to happen for the next 2 days in a week, that's not going to happen. That's not going to work. It's not cost effective. So that's something that you need to keep in mind when you are making your own brochures.